How likely is it that Jimmy Garoppolo will play this weekend?
Oh, man. I wasn't expecting that one. So you caught me off guard. I've been looking for the crystal ball. Don't have it. No, what I can tell you is that Jimmy Garoppolo is one of the toughest football players I've ever been around. And he's been, let's just say he hasn't taken the week off at all. Although he hasn't practiced, he's done every rep that we've done in practice with Rich Scangarillo and Bobby Slowick. Luckily for the 49ers, they're really tired because they've been grinding and making sure that he's prepared. And if he's healthy enough to play at the level that he expects for himself, he'll do that. But that's between Kyle and Jimmy Garoppolo. So really, Mike McDaniel's just prepared for everything. So much so that he's speaking third person.
Like that. That's good.
So you're doing the third person is a sign of preparation.
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't know that until now, but yes.
This week, has Mike McDaniel installed more Trey Lance specific plays into the game plan?
No, really, that's what you try to do in the off season is build an offensive system that there's that flourishes everyone. Then you have specific things that are tailored to people's skill sets. But for instance, Trey Lance's touchdown pass to Deebo Samuel, that was a play that Jimmy repped all week.
Which one?
There's a lot of overlap and all that
The
stuff.
long one to Deebo?
Yeah.
Okay.
And you guys have seen some plays, defenses and the way the game flows dictates how many we run, but we have a lot of stuff up every week that hasn't been run. So it hasn't been that different, which is why when Jimmy Garoppolo goes out and Trey Lance goes in, the rest of our players, whether the plays work or not, the rest of our players are decisive, and you can tell it's cohesive. It's because it is one system, so it's not too crazy abnormal.
Kyle said that the game plan wasn't, built for Trey. Though, is it sort of tough when you have, two quarterbacks who do have different skill sets to try and go into a game and balance that, not knowing?
No, again, the toughest part was in the off season, trying to make sure that our system both highlighted both players, but also allowed the rest of our players to know what to do. You can't put in too much offense or two different offenses, otherwise you wouldn't be good at anything, and your players would be spread thin. So that was the toughest part. Systematically, we've gotten used to it, where now we go into a game and we have certain plays for Trey every week, but Trey is trying to master the art of quarterback, and so he's working at every single play that you see Jimmy run on Sundays. Those are plays that he's running in his mind, and working with Rich Scangarillo every day between periods and after practice. So it's really not as challenging. It was challenging, but not nearly as much as it was in the off season.
How much pistol did Trey do at North Dakota State, and is that, I don't want to say second nature, but is he comfortable in the pistol formation?
Well, as far as the techniques and the way we want to run stuff, he had done pistol, but that's something that our offense has been working on in the off season, and you see Jimmy do it once in a while, and that's something that you don't just all of a sudden put in. There's timing to everything. Every play that we run, you're trying to be orchestrated correctly, and when there's a handoff, the running back. Wow. I thought the answer was good, or at least average. No, you're fine. I hope everything's okay. But no, that it's something that we've had in our offenses that I remember back in the first time we ran pistol in Washington in 2013. it was something that you realize that, hey, you have to fully commit to and work on it every day for it to be in your offense. So we have worked on that every day with all of our quarterbacks. And I mean, shoot, if you watch our opening games against in Cleveland in 2014 against the Steelers, as a matter of fact, we're doing no huddle stuff, and Brian Hoyer's in the pistol the whole time. You know, it's something that you try to orchestrate. You have different reasons to do it, and so we didn't necessarily bank on all the collegiate work, which wasn't a ton. He was familiar with it, but he didn't live in it. But we really, have this off season have to work on that to make sure that everyone's on the same page and everything times out right.
Mike,
You
look,
talk-
I'll
defer.
There's not a lot of Trey's dropbacks. It's understandable. It's week 4 of his rookie season, his background, etc. But just look kind of frantic and sped up. Is that a fair assessment? And obviously, the more he plays, will things
Yeah,
slow down for him?
reps are important in everything in life, I've found. But he's 21 years old, and he's a rookie, and like every other position, we're talking about improvement and growth. We're never satisfied. And you have to get into a rhythm, and sometimes you come out. If your first possession in basketball, you get fouled and you go to the free throw line, you might hit the front rim. You work through it. That's something that there were plays that he was very rhythmic, and there was plays that the game's fast, and that's the biggest thing that you have to. That's why those reps. I think this first preseason game, I said I was excited for him to fail, and he kind of gave me crap about that because he's like, dang, but it wasn't. No, it's that that there's gonna be things that you just don't know what the things are until it's real live bullets. You feel there's a comfort area in practice, but in real live bullets, there's things that happen, and then you're like, hey, we can identify those and work on those, and you can actually hear what I'm saying because now you've taken that in and understood directly. Oh yeah, I get what you mean about pass rush and zoning defenders and how fast things happen. So I think during the game he got into a rhythm. The score dictated that you saw a lot of drop back action, which I think is compounding that too. You try not to drop back and throw with any quarterback every single play, but sometimes the score dictates that. And then there's a lot of plays that he looked frantic because there were some pass rush issues too. There's a lot of compounding variables. I'm sure the next time he plays that it'll continue to look better, and then better and better, and that's the whole goal, and that's what he's focused on.
But was the expectation coming into the season to use Trey more like you did in that preseason finale against the Raiders? I know Shanahan said, he wanted the Lions to prepare for both and all of that stuff, but is there an element of like you expected Trey to play more and then you had to dial it back for certain reasons once the regular season started?
No, you really just wanted to give it a try because you just don't know what you approach everything week by week, and you're trying to win a game, and you're saying, okay, what advantage does this give us, what doesn't? And you're trying not to predict the future because you don't know the way things are going to play out with the defenses that you're going against. So you want to be prepared if you need to do that. And that doesn't mean that that's not going to happen ever again. But we wanted our players to feel that. And we also want, we've been bit plenty of times. I'm sure you guys are familiar. We have injuries once in a while. And so, we don't want to sit here, last year at week 2, in 2020 or whatever year that was, in week 2, we lost our starting quarterback. And you see directly how that affects the team. And so you want the team to be prepared. You also want to be, Kyle was sitting there looking at it like, hey, we want to give Detroit something to think about, and maybe down the road I want to do this. And you don't want the first time that you ever do it to be, oh yeah, it's game on the line, division game against the Arizona Cardinals. We're 2-2, they're 4-0. Let's just try this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's nothing in that game or nothing that Trey's done has deviated. It's just been, hey, what gives us the best chance to win? I prepare for everything to happen, and Kyle says, okay, we're going this way, and I say, how fast?
Mike,
Couple more?
you talked about the art of quarterbacking that Trey's trying to catch up to. In terms of the art of kind of improvisation, off-schedule plays, his skill set obviously lends itself to it. How comfortable are you with coaches with him deviating off of everything you guys have planned?
It's funny because you, as a coach, you're kind of a product of your environment, and you get used to plays needing to be on schedule for them to be good plays. So you adjust as a coach when you have a skill set such as Trey's. You have to remind yourself, hey, it's okay if it goes off schedule because we're in a bottom line business and didn't get yards or score points. So it is an adjustment for us, but it's a very quick and easy adjustment. You just have to keep reminding yourself because you do usually think through a scope of, hey, if number 2 or 3 isn't open, our guy just got hit, so it better be open. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh yeah, it's okay if somebody breaks the pocket. So that was an adjustment. I mean, we felt it in the game, but then you're like, oh, okay, we just got a first down, so you just end up adjusting to whatever, same as every other position, good, bad, or equal.
Mike, this is not meant as a snarky question because the play didn't work. Legitimate curiosity. How do you recognize, or the throwback with Jack Patrick? Do you know something in his background? Did you see him throwing in practice? Or you say, okay?
Yeah, no, when I was evaluating his middle school tape, I was like, yeah. No, that's something that you're looking at an opponent, you have a reason to do it, and then you say, okay, who can do it? And then you kind of do a tryout amongst the positions, see who does it the best, and then you try to put them in pressure situations in practice and see how they hold up. Kyle's great at putting pressure on people, so we had confidence in it because he made sure that he could throw from point A to point B, which he did, and that was the biggest thing. It didn't, in the end result wasn't exactly what we wanted, but the reason to do it and why we wanted to do it, we were happy with the end result, and that was something that we worked on. What you do is you end up doing that early in the week and then rep the play numerous times so that, because you don't want to do a disservice to all other 10 players and the player himself. You don't want him to, all of a sudden he goes out there in a national football game and is on SportsCenter's not top 10 because he triple bounced a, you know what I mean?
Jimmy Garoppolo took several seasons to get full confidence and command of the offense. Where do you feel Trey Lance is in that his progress of getting command of the offense?
I feel like he's in the boat with a lot of rookies in terms of you're looking at him and you're like, this isn't the end result. I think every day he shows us that, I mean, he's wise beyond his years, much more mature than I was at his age, I can tell you that much. Very, very, very smart. And as far as expectations, we expected him to be a rookie who threw 300 and some odd passes in college. But you know what? In an NFL football game, this season, he's had more 2-minute reps than he's had his entire college career. I'm not sure if you guys know, but he's really good at winning football games in high school and college, so he's never behind. So these are all, just knowing that on the front end, you know there's going to be a lot of things to grow on, and he knows that as well, which is why when bad things happen, he doesn't blink. You know, he had an incompletion on a 4-yard throw and then throws a 76-yard touchdown pass. Like, you know that there's going to be some hiccups along the road. You accept that, but you just try to do the best you can and continue to improve. That's the biggest thing. You just don't want to you don't want to regress. You want to find a thing, improve on it, fix it, go to the next thing. And he's hungry enough to keep doing that, which is why we're pumped to have him.
Thank you, Mike.
All right.
Thank you.